Transportation Network Company Law Presentation, Driver Deactivations, and Driver Resource Center. Thank you for watching the Department of Labor and Industry's presentation on the Transportation Network Company, or TNC law in Minnesota. This video will review some key details about driver deactivation, driver appeals, and the Driver Resource Center in Minnesota's Transportation Network Company law, or TNC law, but doesn't address every provision in the law. This video is informational only and only applies to Minnesota's TNC law. It is not a source of law or legal advice. You can find more information, including a presentation on minimum compensation about the TNC law, at dli.mn.gov/TNC. This video is about driver deactivations and how a driver could appeal a deactivation. It also includes information on a driver resource center to help drivers. A TNC is a company in Minnesota that uses an app to connect passengers to drivers for prearranged rides. A TNC driver is someone who uses their own vehicle to provide a prearranged ride to a passenger through the app. The TNC law applies to drivers providing passenger service only and does not apply to food delivery drivers or volunteer drivers who transport people or goods. Deactivation generally means a TNC has blocked a driver from accessing the app for more than 24 hours. Deactivation does not include losing access to the app because of incomplete licensing, insurance, or regulatory requirements that a driver can correct. TNCs are required to have a deactivation policy that includes reasons why a driver could be deactivated and the approximate length of time they could be deactivated, how the TNC will notify a driver of a deactivation and the reason for the deactivation, steps for a driver to take to appeal the deactivation and the criteria for reconsidering a deactivation decision, and a definition of serious misconduct. The deactivation policy must be available on the app in English, Amharic, Arabic, Hmong, Oromo, Somali, and Spanish. The deactivation policy must also include an appeals process. If a driver chooses to appeal a deactivation, they must have at least 30 days from the date of the deactivation notice. The driver can submit additional information, and the TNC must respond within 15 days unless an extension is requested by the driver or the TNC. A driver can get help from a lawyer or advocate to help with the appeals process. The deactivation policy does not apply when deactivation is due to a public state of emergency or economic conditions. A TNC cannot deactivate a driver based on the number of hours they work or for discussing their pay or working conditions. If the driver's conduct is defined in the deactivation policy as serious misconduct, the TNC does not have to provide a warning before deactivating the driver. If the deactivation is not for a serious misconduct violation, the TNC must provide a warning to a driver about their conduct. If a driver is deactivated, a TNC must provide the driver with written notice, including the reason for the deactivation, the expected length of time and start date, steps to reverse deactivation if applicable, instructions for challenging the deactivation, information on the right to appeal, and contact information for a local organization that can help in the appeal process. If a driver is deactivated unintentionally or for a purely technical reason, the driver must be provided reasonable payment for their time without access to the TNC app, up to 21 days. To determine the amount of reasonable payment, the TNC must use the driver's daily average in earnings from the TNC in the 90 days prior to deactivation. The TNC must provide a driver with the option to opt out of arbitration and must notify drivers that they can opt out of arbitration. In Minnesota, TNCs must work with a local organization to offer free assistance to drivers. This organization can provide technical or legal assistance, assist with the deactivation appeal process, and help drivers understand their rights. To find a local organization to help answer questions and assist drivers, visit dli.mn.gov/TNC.